Good afternoon, guys. I hope that you enjoy your day. For those who don't know me, my name is Shamika Saris. I'm the CEO of Fight Fest Production Management. I've been in business for almost just started the business like about a year. Been working on products, Fight Fest production products. Right now I'm working on street culture, be a part of the community. It's been going great, as you can see. And our next project I'm working on is a 2020 is a new project that I'm going to be dropping next year. Is my new brand new podcast. It's called Fight Fest Production Management Podcast, called What is Mental Health Awareness About? And we wanna get into that right now. What is mental health awareness? What do you see in yourself as an overview of mental health? And when you look at mental health, what do you see in the picture of your mental health? When you look at yourself in a perspective of your own curriculum, what do you see in that atmosphere of mental health? So the overview of it is that when you build up mental health, it's about understanding a person's story and what that person's story may oversee. I think mental health is like an issue where you're sharing a story, and a story that you're sharing is a story that could inspire people to get help. So I will be starting a campaign on mental health awareness for Fight Fest Production Management. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be partnering up with different types of clinics to get resources to people that have dealing with substance abuse, was a survivor of domestic violence abuse. There's more. But we look at overviews of life in a perspective way. People think about certain type of atmosphere as you could see yourself in a surrounded area. And to share my story with you, if you don't mind, I suffer with depression and anxiety. I was diagnosed with a genetic chromosome disorder. But does that stop me from doing my entrepreneurship self-employment gig? No. It helped me realize that the vision that I have and the opportunities that I have laying on the table is for me to open up in the right direction. Sometimes the direction that you have is a negative one. You don't focus on negative, you open on the positive. But sometimes your life cycle depends on who you are as a person and who you are as a creation. But the creation part about it is how you look at mental health, how you look at your story, how your story could affect other people's growth. Sometimes your growth is negative, sometimes your growth is positive. But in my opinion, what do you see yourself sharing a story of mental health? An overview of mental health, and as we move around in different levels and stages of mental health. You think about mental health as a cycle. But growing up with a disability, it was a struggle for me to look work. Jobs wouldn't hire me because I was overqualified. Jobs wouldn't take me seriously because they think that I can't do the job because I'm not I don't meet the task as others. But sometimes when you go through a cycle, it's opportunities that open up in a brighter future. And that's the reason why I would like to get into self-employment and open up my own franchise for people to understand how it feels to be treated unfairly. I know that in life we all go through a cycle where we could build up our future together. And we come together as a team to help others that's going through the same thing. A lot of people get treated unfair because of the color of their skin and because of certain things that is going on in their life. And people doesn't have respect for other people because you get judged, you get criticized every day. And the thing about it is, I was the same person that went through it, and I can relate to a person right now. I was going through it. I lost a loved one. I lost a grandmother. I lost a cousin. And it was hard, going through that. And how I overcome it, I go on the boardwalk and I look at the water of the sand of the beach, and I ask myself, can I live into a world where people could judge me. No. I can't live in a world where people can hate me. No. I have to live in a world where people could accept me for who I am. I came out as a heterosexual, sexual behavior as a man. And I believe in myself that I could cherish my world and cherish myself and the opportunity that I could fight it. But the disapproval of it is that people could judge me for who I am, but they can't hate me for what I accomplish. And sometimes the accomplishments is overwhelming, but we have to get it through together. That's what mental health is about. And as I could sit down and I could share with you what it means to feel in our right position is by expression of what it means to become different. So right now, I'm going to share with you my project proposal of mental health. And as I share with you my project proposal of mental health, it could help others to gain more experience in what we believe and what we can achieve. I've been bullied online. I've been called names. But I don't make that stop me from doing what I'm doing, you know? It doesn't make me stop me from making a difference and sharing awareness. Because you're not alone. You're not alone in a position where people could judge you and say ignorant things about you. But at the end of the day, we are all love. And we are a part of our community. And it doesn't matter what you're going through. It matters if you stand together and fight together for mental health. So right now, I'm going to transfer my computer and read you my broadcast in reality. All right, I'm back. I'm holding the phone. All right, I'm back. Okay. So I'm gonna relax because I'm sitting on my couch and I'm relaxing. Right? I love this. I love this life. All right. So Fight Fest Productions Management presents podcast. What is mental health awareness about? Let's scroll down. One second. I have to hold the phone while I do this, so give me 1 second. So while I hold my phone and talking to you, okay, got it. So, what is mental health awareness about? The overview of it. When you look at mental health issues in our nation, in our community, how do we address these issues about mental health? It's a question that needs answering. And my answer is mental health is a topic that needs discussion. Fight Fest Production Management Podcast presents a better understanding how mental health is a prioritized for us to get help, but also understand how to deal with mental health and how can we adopt our mindsets to develop, how to manage our physical balance and behavior, how do we address mental health issues in general, how it affects our life and our work equity to provide assistance in building our mental well-being for our community and our family's health. Overview of mental health issues is that did you know that in New York City 90% men and women are diagnosed with mental health disorders, but they refuse treatment to cope with mental health. But day by day they buy drugs to heal their system, and they backslide and turn into depression and anxiety that cause them to have mental health meltdowns. My goals of this podcast here is for us to open up and for us to understand what it means to have what it means to have a discussion about mental health. Goals. Our goals for mental health awareness is to provide mental health services for those who are suffering with depression and anxiety disorders, prepare them for the challenges they face when they are facing with decisions, experiencing their thoughts and expressions with depression and mental illness. The significance of that is, when you look back on mental health issues, how does it affect your battle life, and how does that impact your ability to cope with them, and how do you manage or help others in your community to grow as a result? This question will help you understand the examples of what I would do differently to help others with mental health issues. Is to talk it out and let that person help you grow as much as possible. In reality, if you're struggling with mental health issues, how can you relate to that person? That's a question that I want to ask people. If you are struggling with mental health issues, how can you relate to that person? How can you relate to that? How can you relate to that person's situation? How can you cope with that person's situation? But the issues of it is, it affects your battle life, it affects your work environment, it also affects your personal life and also your family life. And you feel that your environment is not safe for you. You feel that the work environment is not pleasant for you. But this is a question that I ask people. I'm gonna pull up. This question will help you understand, for example, what would I do differently to help others with mental health issues? To talk it out, and let that person help you grow as much as possible. In reality, if you're struggling with mental health issues, how can you relate to that person? How can you relate to the milestones of that mental health issue? Levels in mental health issues, stages in mental health issues. How does it affect your battle life, and how does it impact your ability to cope with them? In response of health issues, in response to complaints and concerns about mental issues, is increasingly in response in your work environment, your home environment, and your family environment. The levels of information that you need to provide to share is your personal experience of dealing with mental health issues. So with that is a milestone. And when I talk about this, because I share you my story, when I came out as a heterosexual person, the concerns of my mental health increases the response of my family members, and it increased the response of my work environment, and it increased the response of my home environment. And how will my family members accept it? How that could be difficult for them to understand, and what the levels of understanding is for them. I feel that it's more difficult of people to come out, and you're stuck in, you're having a hard time adjusting to certain things. But at the end of the day, you share your personal experience and dealing with mental health issues. I'll share you how did I came out. I came up because I realized that I can't keep the secret inside. I have to let it out, because if you don't let it out, it's gonna cause you depression. It's gonna cause you anxiety. It's gonna cause you with mental health issues, that you cannot control your body. You cannot control what you put in your body. You cannot control what you put out in your body. All right. It purposes of depression has become more difficult for people who are experiencing depression at a younger generation age. I started having depression when I was about 19 years old, when I was actually exited out through high school. And the prevalence of my mental health disorder, it was more difficult for me to come out because my friends didn't understand. I used to get bullied in high school. I used to get teased back in the day. And my disability was a struggle to people. And my family didn't understand my disability. They didn't understand how to cope with it, because the struggles were real. They didn't understand how it feels to have a disability. It doesn't understand when somebody talk to you, they yell at you. And when a person with disability, they don't understand that levels of that person, because Your levels is your stress level, and how does your self control and your self worth of your self esteem that's going through that same situation. My question to you is how many people who apply for a job and you get rejected because of your mental health issues that you cannot control? Raise your hand. I have something to tell you. I want to talk to you about that. Your mental health is an experience that if you're going through that stage, my advice to you is get help. Talk to a counselor. Talk to a family member that was in your shoes. Talk to somebody who could relate to you. Talk to a person that will understand your levels of respect. How do you show respect to that person? How will you relate to that person's mindset? How can you lever it into your own career and your own understanding? I can relate because I've been rejected a bunch of times for jobs. I can relate. But what I did, I created something that people will understand. I created a franchise that could accept people for who they are. I created a plan that will help people get through what they're going through. I could create a future for people to understand your peace and your knowledge of your faith. And sometimes your faith is what helps people grow as far as information that you could provide to share with them. You know? And that's how you grow in mental health. It represents a mental health disorder is more difficult for your family members to understand your levels of stress and self-control, self-worth, and self-esteem. How many people who apply for jobs and you get rejected because of your mental health issues that you cannot control? Your mental health issues, but because you have what? You have that mental health that people are struggling to understand you. And I can relate to that because if you understand the struggles of it, you have to understand what it means to build. So starting next year, I'll be having a podcast that I'm gonna be putting together at the Manhattan Neighborhood Networks, and it's gonna be streaming on YouTube. And I'm gonna be having a group of people to come on the panel, and we're gonna discuss different topics about mental health and how can we relate to people. We're in the process of working on getting into the Manhattan Neighborhood Networks to do a show, and you could able to Zoom the show through YouTube, and I'll be streaming it live on my screen page on YouTube for you guys to understand and to realize what we're doing is to help people to grow. And this is what it is. I will be producing the show. I'll be in the panel as well, and I'll be getting my own team to come out and help me build this project. And we'll be traveling to different Democrat states to talk to people that deal with mental health and to understand how it could affect their ability to work and how they could affect their ability to try different things. And if you understand, if you feel comfortable working remotely, that's you. If you feel comfortable working in a work environment, that's you. But you have to realize in that environment, does your mental health affects that working environment where you do for a living? You know what I'm saying? So my mental health does affect my job as a camera person and as an entrepreneur, because I have to learn how to accept things differently. I have to learn how to accept criticism. I have to learn how to accept criticism in a positive way. I have to know how to fix things better. So that's what it means. But if you have to learn how to fix things better, you could able to achieve a goal of mental health. So that's where we're going today. So today I'm sharing with you about mental health awareness for Fight Fest production for our podcast that we're going to be pushing out for next year. We're going to be talking more about mental health and how we could bring younger generations together and share their story and how they were dealing with mental health and what would it affect. How could it affect a person that's going through it, and what advice would you give to that person that's going through depression, anxiety, substance abuse? They get rejected because the job they think they're overqualified. So you have to realize, you have to think this through and understand the proposition of what it means to be happy in your own curriculum. My name is Shamika Samuels, and I hope that you enjoy this video. I will be posting this video on YouTube today, and I'll be letting you know that the Project 2025 will be up, you know, and we'll be up in camp. We're going to start creating a team to go out and start touring, and we're going to get a panel. I'm going to get, guest speakers to come on the show, and we're going to be doing it. We're going to be doing it real. We're going to be doing it big, all right? So stay tuned for that, and I hope that you enjoy your lovely, lovely evening.